Live. We'll give it a minute. Everybody out there. Hey guys, want to say hey to everybody. What is going on? What is going on, Kent? Ben? Who else we got? Jeff. Fish the Sticks. What's going on, guys? Tackle Box Mike. What's going on, Jesse? Camp Waffle Stomper. I don't know. What's going on, Turner? What's going on, Tone? Tone Basson in the house. Tony Cole, what's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? All right, guys. So we are here. We are live. I want to talk to you guys a little bit. First, I want to get the normal, business out of the way, guys. We do lives. We try to do lives every Monday night around 8 p.m. Sometimes the guests can be here, a little earlier, a little later. So make sure you're coming out to Bassgeek Live every Monday night. On top of that, we also take these lives and turn them into podcasts. So you can get the podcast anywhere that you can imagine. I mean, I think it's like, Apple Podcast, whatever, Google does. Like, I think you can get it on SoundCloud and iHeartRadio, and heck, you can probably, if there's a iFart radio, you probably get it there too. So anyway, it's anywhere and everywhere you can find podcasts. And if you want to, you can go out to my website, bassgeekfishing.com, and you can listen to it right there. What's going on, TJ81? He's already talking about you girthy geeks out there. Well, I'm only drinking the Black Death tonight, so nothing too good. Got off the water with the lovely wife today and had a couple of brewskis. And then took a nap because I'm old. That's what happens when you get old. You take naps. So, all right, guys. So we are with one of my buddies and the owner. I think about the bearings, but here, let me quit butchering this. And I'm going to introduce Sam. Sam, you go ahead and introduce yourself to all the girthy geeks out there in YouTube land.
First formal introduction. My name's Sam Kearns. I'm the owner / operator of Dominator Reel Tuning. We specialize in cleaning and tuning reels and bearings.
And so basically, if I need a reel cleaned up, one of my favorite reels, this is the guy I turn to right here. Now, even better than that is his bearings. And we're going to dive into that a little bit, but there's one bit of news, guys, that we want to kind of stop for a second. And it hit me pretty hard. Loving the sport, loving bass fishing the way I do, and to me, there is no Bass Geek. There is no modern fishing. There's probably not Dominator Reel Tuning. There's probably there's no Googans, and it hit me so hard because something that me and my wife were talking about today. And by the way, I did get her to go out fishing with me, so everybody be ready for that video. I don't want to give any spoilers out, but it was pretty fun. But, we all stand on the shoulders of Ray Scott. And, for this man to pass away, this man is the father of modern bass fishing. I mean, he just is. There's literally probably no tackle warehouse the way we think of it, no Bass Pro Shops the way we think of it. I mean, bass fishing from tournaments to recreational fishing, the bass boat industry doesn't exist without this man. I'm telling you right now, we stand on the shoulders of Ray Scott, and he passed away today. And that was, that's a lot. There's definitely no Bassgeek, that's for sure. That hit me pretty hard. All right, Jonathan, we see you out there. We see you saying hey, but that is that was I had to take a moment today after hearing that, and any thoughts in the comments, guys, you guys have on it. To me, that was a huge loss in the community, in the bass fishing community today. Ray Scott was bass fishing. I mean, the way we know, in my opinion. So, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But Sam, you want to throw anything in, man?
I believe you hit it right on the spot. It just flat doesn't exist. I mean, I think whenever the terms on Facebook that you seen was fishing grade, or however you want to put it, is very light as far as it just wouldn't exist.
Yeah, I agree. But we will move on, and all right, I got to deal with this. Bam. We don't deal with spam. You out. So, what's going on, Creek? Oh, everything's moving too fast. Creek Fishing Junkie, down in Bama, home of Ray Scott, I do believe, is where it all started anyway. Man, he finally says something. Love your videos after I kicked him out. Okay. That is true. So tell us about where you're at, man. Tell us, Sam, where you're at. Tell us a little bit about what you're fishing. Tell us a little bit about your rods and reel setups, and kind of what got you in to the whole reel bearing industry. What tell us a little bit of background about yourself.
So I'm located in Central Kentucky, and I'm about 35 minutes from Lake Cumberland to 40, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much just got into bass fishing, just fishing with friends, like a lot of other people. I would say the main reason why I got into fishing here is because of I would definitely hit it on the head with just hanging out with friends, hanging out with family. Nobody in my family really fished, so there was a lot of weekends of my mom taking me fishing. Then we jumped into high school, and then it's kind of blossomed into this beautiful thing where I've enjoyed the industry and wanted to be a part of it.
So you got into reel tuning first, reel cleaning. How'd you manage to work? What started with that, and how long have you been doing it?
I've been cleaning reels for about 4 years. I got into it because I honestly got mad because I couldn't take a loose apart. And then we blossomed into this beautiful thing of just being able to take them apart and fix them.
All right.
Sorry, I keep on having to take my earphone out because it's echoing bad. But so we got into it because of the not being able to fix reels deal. I had a buddy come over, and he's actually one of the guys that taught me how to fish, and he kind of showed me what was going on, how to fix them, some ins and outs. He's real big on buying stuff from like PC Fun and some of the Amazon brands that you see, and take them apart and looking at them, and just a real head, as contradicting as that sounds. But so we kind of got into that, and then I got to looking at prices of just how much doing stuff like this is, and it just seems like there's a lot of people that jack their prices up, take advantage of other people. Some of the bearings are just crazy high for what they are. So I was just like, hey, I'm gonna get into this and just do it for the everyday guy that might not be able to afford to send his reel off, but he can send it to me and I'll take care of him.
There you go. Now, then you got into, I don't know if manufacturing or making. So with the bearings, how long have you actually been doing that?
Bearings have, so I've been cleaning reels roughly 3 or 4 years. It's really hard to put a finger on that because when I started, it was just like this big, crazy conglomerate jam of stuff that just all kind of came together at once. But I got into the bearing thing and I noticed like bearings are high. You're looking at 30 to 60, sometimes more. And I was like, well, there's got to be a way to get bearings manufactured to where they're not as high. And that's kind of where I came in with that. We started out, I'm going to try to pull some of these up to the camera where you can see them. This is our Gen 1. Well, we'll chase this camera for a minute.
Yeah, you got to go the opposite direction.
Left is right, right is left.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
So this is our Gen 1. You can see it. It's got ceramic balls, but it's stainless steel races, stainless steel cage. And this was the bearing I ran for forever. And just like your traditional bearing, it's an ABEC 7. So generally the ABEC rating is described on the precision, like how much tolerance is there, how much RPMs it can hold, etc. So we went from 7 to what I call the Gen 2, which is an ABEC 9. Wow, I'm chasing the camera again. And you can see it's got a poly insert in it, which makes it unique and kind of makes the tolerances a lot tighter. And that brings you up to like an ABEC 9, which it's a lot more of a precision bearing. It's a lot quieter. We are running seals. It's an optional thing. But overall, we're still innovating. That's something we're not going to stop doing. So, I mean, there might be a Gen 3 out in 2 years. We've kind of already started working on stuff that
yeah.
I would like to change on this one down the road.
So you were talking about the ratings. Give us, I mean, what is that, generally is that the highest rating? Tell us a little bit about that. Explain that.
I'm not real sure on stainless. I'm going to say it's around like a 5, an ABEC 5. I don't know if Tackle Junkie wants to chime in. He's a big bearing guy from what I've seen on his stuff. But, stainless is generally like an ABEC 5. And then when you move into what I call like the godfather of the real bearing industry is Boca. Everybody knows Boca. Boca is the biggest thing, period. But that's generally like an ABEC 7. And then you're going to start seeing these peak style cages. They're going to come to the market. They're going to be like a ABEC 9. So I think as we keep on progressing, you're going to see a more precision bearing. I'm sure you can buy more precision bearings in the JDM market and realms like that if you want to spend a pretty good penny on them. But I think it'll be just something constantly changing.
Gotcha. So what bearings, what reels do you have and that you can put what bearings can you put what reels can you put your bearings in?
So if you send me to the shop, I can clean and put bearings in anything. I don't do spinning reels. I can tell you that off the bat. That's just that is 100% my bad. I lack as a business owner. Unless it's a Stratic or any kind of Daiwa, I just can't do spinning reels. But as far as putting bearings in them, we don't really advise that because I don't think it really does a whole lot, to be honest with you. Same thing like putting bearings in a DC. I think that kind of defeats the purpose on that end too. But I don't know. Kind of got sidetracked there. Forgot the question.
Well, like you were talking about PC fun. Can you put them in the PC fun?
Oh yeah, I can
reels?
put them in anything. So essentially, a lot of these reels run the same group of bearings. They might not all be the same in every reel, but there's only like 4 or 5, maybe 6 different sizes that are thrown around. But for me, like my biggest sellers, if you're going to buy a kit for me, it's going to be like an Abu Luz kit. It's going to be a Shimano kit. It's going to be what am I forgetting here? Abu Luz, Shimano, Daiwa. I'm going to start doing ambassadors. Catfishing seems to be getting huge around my area. So, I mean, there'll slowly be more stuff coming out for sure. But for right now, Shimano, Daiwa, Abu Luz is my big three.
So now I know we were talking about Akuma, we were talking about a lot of things, so that's good. You can put them in anything. Now I know you just dropped a new product, so a new little kit, which I thought was pretty impressive. You want to go ahead and show everybody the kit?
So this is what I'm calling my Gen 2 kit. Oh, camera! This camera's gonna mess with me this whole time.
Open this up. You can read the comments.
You want to do it down here?
If you open it, it's got a QR code on the top. It's made to where you can actually scan it. It'll take you to YouTube, take you to Facebook, take you to Twitter, and you'll be able to go on there and click that and follow directions or do social media or whatever you want. It comes with a set of bearings, shields. Comes with a bearing retainer, which most of the time is what somebody loses when they take a reel apart to put bearings in it. And it comes with the tin. The tin's a big aspect of it. That's actually, everything in it has something about it. Like the tin is designed to where if you're working on this at your kitchen table, you can put the spool in the tin. It's the perfect size to fit a spool. It's kind of why we did it. But you can put the spool in the tin and it won't roll off the table and mess up your spool.
Nice. And I know I've seen something about you. Do you have a tool that you sell too?
I do. I have a spool pin removal tool. And it's, nice. I mean, it's pretty much run of the mill. Anybody that's ever Googled bearings or done bearings is going to know about this. It's nothing crazy special. Our price point is pretty cheap on it. I tried to keep, my main thing is keeping it affordable. Like I said, everybody blows prices sky high. And everything I have is pretty reasonable for your average angler, especially when you're a guy like wants to do 5-6 reels at a time, mostly.
Yeah. So what kind of price point are you looking at on those?
On a set of bearings, you're looking from anywhere from 30 to 35. 35 being like your 3-piece bearing kits, and you're looking at around like $12 on a tool. I have a multi-bit screwdriver coming out too. We're going to be selling for like $8. So it's pretty cheap for the most part, especially if you already have the tools, or if it's something you're going to do more than once. Mm-hmm. You don't want to send me reels and you want to buy tools. It's always something you're going to have in your arsenal.
Nice. So you're gonna put a set of bearings in a reel for us tonight?
I can. Is there?
You want to ask everybody out there? Is there a certain certain brand?
Is there anything?
They haven't said. They haven't really said anything about a certain brand. What do you got? What do you got handy? Show us maybe 2-3 reels, and we'll let everybody pick one.
I got a Luz available, and then I also have a Shimano. I got a little bit of everything. We can do this Luz because it kind of hits a Shimano and a Luz. Yeah. The only difference is on a Shimano you don't put a spool bearing in.
Gotcha. Chicken and fried steak says Luz right off the bat. So all right, let's do a Luz. There's one Shimano. Well, there's 3 Shimanos out there.
Shimanos. Well, we can do them both. The only thing you got to remember is the only difference on the Shimano is we're not doing the spool pin removal. But I mean, we can do them both. It ain't gonna take no time.
Well, they said definitely do the Luz. So here's what I'm gonna do.
You can write your comments here and keep that camera.
There we go. All right, guys. So he's going to show us how to actually change them out, literally live.
All right, let me move these out of the way. So what I tell most people is you can get by, and it might take a whole lot of cussing and throwing stuff, but you can get by with the hook, just a sharp hook to pull these bearing retainers out. But usually your best gig is just going to Harbor Freight and buying a $5 set of picks. But you'll see, this actually already has a set of bearings in it, but it's not an issue. You'll see we have an orange bearing here on the palm side. It's got a retainer in the middle. You just got to pull that retainer out. And then you'll just pop that bearing out like that. The only thing I do advise people is whenever they do bearing changes, there's these little shims in here. I'm a big believer in, well, flipping those shims over. Because if you don't, they'll get like the dimples in it from the spool. You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen them? Have you ever took apart a reel and seen how it has like the little black circle on it from where it's been pushing against it?
Yep.
So essentially, once you pop that out, you're just going to pop your new bearing back in, and then you're just going to slide your retainer in. You know, if you're not very hand-eye coordinated, I would say wear safety glasses, because if it does hit your eyeball, you might go blind. But for the most part, if you can keep your thumb on it, it'll pop itself back in like that. And then you move to your spool. Whenever you're using these tools, you'll notice that there's a flat end on one side and there's a needle end on the other side. You're going to use the flat end to push the pin out. And it's very important that you push the skinny side of the pin out, not the fat side of the pin out, because it will end up messing up the pin or your spool shaft. So we're going to start pushing this thing out.
Now, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but when you get the pin out, is there any way to hold it up close to the camera so we can see the difference between the skinny and the fat?
Yeah, I can even, we're going to flip sides here to where the needle side will push the rest out. I can put in a pair of pliers over here so you can see it. And we're just going to use the needle side or the skinny end, whatever terminology you want to use. We're just going to push that the rest of the way out.
Tackle Junkie says, worst part is looking for the retainer clip in the carpet after you lose it.
We don't have to worry about that no more, because everything I sell comes with retainer clips. I'm like the only person in the industry doing that, which is...
There you go.
It's pretty sad, because it's literally like a 69-cent part, and everybody wants to charge $4 or $1 for it. It makes no sense. But if you get a kit from me, you get instructions and a retainer.
What's going on, Central Coast, man? Long time no see.
Oh, see, I don't know if I can get that to focus.
Yeah.
But you see the beveled end next to my thumb over here?
I do, yeah.
That's the side that you always want to push that side out first, and then you want to put that side in first. So that's first in, first out, or however that goes. If not, you'll bend up everything, tear up tools, whole 9 yards. And if you do that, our spool pin removal tool comes with extra end pieces for it. But I'm going to flip the tool back over to the, let's see if I can, here we go.
Camp Waffle Stomper says that's what the kids are for. You get them down on the floor, get them in there.
So I probably clean, this is no joke, I probably clean 10 to 12 reels a night. And I'm real bad about when I lose stuff. I'll have to yell for my wife and be like, hey, come down here and help me find this, because I got an overhead light that I clean reels under. And it's like, I've stared at this light for so long, everything's just flat bright.
You can't see, yeah.
And then she'll come down there in 2 seconds and be like, oh, it was right here. Did you not see it? And I was like, no. But it's that simple. It's really not a hard job. It doesn't matter if you can't even clean a reel. Like, there's nothing to it. At least I don't feel like it could have been, that I've done a bunch of them, but I think a lot of people more freak out over the process because they think of, well, how do I do it? And then I got to find something on YouTube to do it. Well, now at least I can get you a bearing retainer and some YouTube instructions off the packaging to where you can do it. And then we're going to take off the cap on the handle side. You can take the star 10 millimeter nut if you want to. I don't.
So real quick to interrupt, Debo Fishing, shout out to my guy Debo. Do you sell extra spool pins in case you lose or bend one?
I can get you one. A lot of that determines on, like, does the spool pin have splines in it? What did it come out of? So it's not ever like a big deal to get a spool pin.
Gotcha.
There's just so many of them out there, it's hard to carry. But it's definitely something I keep in mind for the next time around. Like, is this something we need to look into to add to the kit? Which, Debo makes a good point. That might be a great idea to try to find something realistically somewhat universal to put in there. It might actually be something I look into. That's a great idea. But this retainer on the luge, you'll notice it isn't. Oh, don't put that one in. It isn't an octagon shaped. I thought I had one here on the table in my conglomerate mess of bearings. Oh, I do. I got 2 of them. So you can see, dang, see, that camera's going to get me all night. I know.
It gets everybody,
It's
man.
so
Even me.
weird.
Even me.
Left to right. There you go. See that one? See the octagon?
Yeah.
The one on the side of the luge, it's a full circle. And it's made just to kind of fit into that ridge that's in there. It makes sense why they do it, but this one is a full circle. But if you lose it, you still can use the octagon one in the packaging. So don't freak out. It's still not a big deal. When you move that ring, you can just pull that bearing out. And then when you're ready to put it back in, you just put it back in. Start one side of your retainer. Click your retainer in and screw your cap back on. The biggest thing I tell people, actually, this is probably the most common call I get is I can't get my spool to go back in after I put bearings in. And I try not to giggle, but it's hard sometimes. But here's the thing. The thing is, guys, if you screw this cast control cap all the way down, it's going to be hard. So I leave it out just enough to where the star doesn't hit it. And I slide my spool back in. Hit it with the palm side. And I'll just adjust it. So it's very simple. And
at least the pro makes it look very simple, right?
well, I just hope it makes everybody feel better that at least you got all the tools. You got, like I said, you got the bearing retainer, you got the YouTube cheat sheet. My phone number's on there. Just don't be spamming me at 9, 10 o'clock at night like the 400 comments we had on here earlier. But I'll answer the phone. That's the main thing. I used to.
Yeah. Hey, guys, I want to say everybody thoughts and prayers out to Central Coast Bass recovering from a stroke, brother. I hope you get better soon. Sorry, man, to interrupt.
No, absolutely. I'm a huge advocate of that. The stroke's a big deal. Prayers to him and his family for sure.
Now, here's somebody needing bearings for a Shimano. I never can pronounce that. You see it there.
So, as long as it is, I can't talk today. You got me all tore up. I don't know where camera. I don't know how to talk. So as long as it isn't like an outer bearing, a Metanium, a Bantam, our basic Shimano kit is going to fit that. All right.
Nice.
So that isn't very hard to do at all. If you need something like that, you can hit me up on Facebook and I can message you one. We're trying to get up a website, which seems to be a lot more hectic than what I thought it was going to be. But
so Joseph Keller says, what's your go-to grease for the bearings that you install?
I don't grease bearings. We oil bearings. And I am a huge Lucas oil advocate. That is just because you can literally buy, like this bottle right here. I don't know which camera I'm on. It's empty. This bottle right here lasts me all through the winter. Like one little bitty bit goes a huge long way.
So how much, speaking of which, when you need to put a little oil on your bearings, how do you do that? What do you recommend the amount that you put on there?
The way I'm going to tell you, you're going to laugh at me.
Well, no.
All right. So the way that I do it is I put one, everybody's always told just to put a tiny drop on there, right?
Yeah.
So I usually will put one tiny drop on there. I'll put it on the end of a screwdriver, a chopstick, whatever I got that'll fit in the hole. I'll spin it until it starts slowing down if it's a stainless bearing, and then I'll blow it out with the air compressor. I don't like super slow, sluggish reels. Like that is not my thing. If you want something like that, go buy a DC. So that's how I do it. If you want a fast reaction reel, just a little bit of oil, hit it with some can air afterwards or an air compressor if you got a nozzle, and she'll be slick.
So Debo says, I've had multiple beginners who don't have tools to take out pins say they bent them and need a new one. I told them to reach out to the manufacturer to get some.
Yeah. Actually, so me and Sawyer, my camera guy, we were shooting a video on how to, which I can show you in a minute. When I'll scan you this code and I'll pull it up on my iPad and show you guys what it looks like. But I very specifically say in there is a ton of hacks on YouTube or hacks or whatever they want to call them, where they take channel locks and pliers. And the best thing to do is just stop. Like, if it's not there, just stop. If you don't want to spend the money on the tool and you done got the bearing kit, just put the two, orange seals in the sides. At least you'll get a little bit. And then, if you're local in the central Kentucky area, I'll do your bearings for free. You don't necessarily have to buy a kit. You buy a set of bearings. You want to bring me a reel, or if you're not local and want to ship me a reel, I'll put a set of bearings in for free all day long. I would rather me do it for you and you not tear up your stuff.
Now, for the cost of the bearings, right?
Yeah, you buy a kit. I don't care if you buy bearings. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You don't buy bearings from me. If they're Bocas or spool speeds or whatever they are, and you need help putting your bearings in, give me a phone call. I'll put them in for you. I just don't want you to tear up your stuff. I won't even charge you nothing. You need bearings put in. You don't know how to do it, send it to me. Because then once you see how I operate, you'll want to do business with me forever. Trying to find, I actually got I don't know if you've seen it or not. I had a 13 I just did for a client that it's got the Gen 2 bearings in it. I don't know. Do we have any 13 guys?
Oh.
Man, these comments are like so fast, can't keep up with them.
Yeah, man. I see. Are you talking about the one where you spun it up and let it roll?
Yeah, it's this thing is flat stupid. I mean, they'll spin. If free spooling's your thing, they'll spin for forever. You get some of these Daiwas, they won't do it. That's just because how the braking system's made. But
so what's the increase you think in performance and as far as like castability? What's the real benefit of putting the bearings in there?
I would say at least 10 to 20%. Will these bearings help me be able to skip? No. I mean, if you're good, yeah, go for it. If you're starting off throwing bearings, you're going to hate me because you're going to run through line.
Yeah.
But the biggest benefit that I see, and I'll kind of go into the spill. So I used to work for a company called Alltech. They're huge in the horse industry. I used to seal feed bags when I was in high school and through college and all that, and my hands are bad. Like, I can literally cast a reel in the winter and don't even know. There's videos on my Facebook doing it. My cameraman's laughing at me because he witnessed it. But I'll throw a whole rod out of my hand and don't even know what happened. But for me, the biggest thing on bearings is it's just so smooth and easy. Like flipping and pitching, casting, less fatigue. I'm all about doing something smoother, simpler. Now, don't get me wrong. I can straight bomb a jig. Like, that's a given. That's going to happen with the set of bearings if you can cast and can set up brakes good and all that. You're definitely going to get further casting. But
yeah. So Jared Kemper Fishing says, "What Central Kentucky? Where are you at? What county?" He's in Pulaski. He's up there around.
I'm right up the road from me. I'm in Lancaster, so not very far at all.
And then we've got somebody asking, Joseph Keller is, what address do we send the reels for the bearing installs for?
Yeah, it's Dominator Reel Tuning, P.O. Box 132, Lancaster, Kentucky. Just send me a message. Let me know you're sending them. If not, I might forget to check them. I get this bad habit of just wanting to go fishing. So sometimes I don't check it like I should. I ain't going to lie to you.
All right, man. So you got another reel you wanna do there that we did the lose? You want to do a Shimano or you want to?
Yeah, I got an SLX here. I'm trying to think, does this one have bearings in it or not? I got a core. I got all kinds of stuff. The problem is everything I got here in the shop has bearings in it, I believe. That's a DC over there. I can show you on this SLX. It's a little bit trickier. Like I said, this one does have bearings in it. I think this one's actually. This is one I just did for a customer the other day. But so on the SLX, the main thing that you're going to deal with is, dealing with this door. And like I said, I'm gonna pop one of these out. This is kind of cool.
And again, for anybody that didn't see, hold up that QR code right there and show them. So this will actually take you out for instructions.
Oh, So
how to find when you buy the Gen 2 bearing kit from him.
So we're going to go here. Hold on, I'll show you. So I'm really going to pull it up on my camera. Oh, sorry, you're giving me your face. Do something with that. And then it's going to pull you to, oh man, that light might be bad. Might have to see it on the main camera, but it says my phone number, message. I don't know. Can you see it better on that one?
I don't know. No, it's all blurred.
No,
it's
but
all...
anyways, it'll pull you to this page, and the first thing on the page has a YouTube icon, and it says bearing installation instructions. I know you can see the little battery notification, but the call, message, email, it's all there. That's my biggest thing is I feel like everybody in the everybody wants to give you their time. So I'm really big behind the customer service thing and making sure everybody gets what they need. But back to the SLX, I don't know if you guys seen, like, I do have, it's an old keyboard thingy, my bobber, where stuff can't go everywhere. But, you know, if you're going to set this on your table, you don't want to throw off your table. So that's why we kind of did the tin can thing so it can set in the spool and it doesn't go anywhere. And then on the SLX, the original SLX, really any of the Shimanos with the hinge doors, they can be a little bit tricky because you got about a 50% rate of doing that right there. And I lost it. But I got a replacement. But you got a 50% rate of losing that little clip. And you just go in there and I'll do it with a non-real worker's tool, but you can take a pick. That's going to make a liar out of me. Pick or Q-tip. I had some Q-tips too. Dang it. See, I told you might end up throwing whatever. Anyways, theoretically speaking, this is a pick. Pull that bearing out. It can be a pain. I'm not gonna lie. You might sit here for a minute and mess with it. The biggest thing is just like not getting upset. But you pull that out. See, found that bearing retainer.
So what's your opinion of an SLX?
I think it's very, my opinion is either going to be very pleasing or very gratifying to people. I think the SLX is the most overlooked reel in a budget lineup. I think it is probably the best reel for the bang for the buck.
Oh, even against the LFS, man. Come on.
So here's my reason why. And I don't want to say hate because it's a strong word, but I don't like that question because there's so many. I feel like you got to have a couple of different reels to kind of achieve a little bit of everything. But when I say I think the SLX is the best budget reel, it's because you got the SLX, the SLX XT, the 70 MGL SLX, you got a DC. Like, in that whole lineup at a budget price of, what's the max? The DC at 190?
Yeah. I mean, but now, come on. You're skirting the question. $99 SLX versus $99 retail LFS. Come on.
SLX.
No, boo.
I like them both, but
I'm just playing with you, man.
I'm not gonna lie to nobody. I'm a hardcore Shimano guy. I like my favorite reel at the moment is probably the Tattoola 300, which has been an awesome swim bait reel. I do so much.
Tackle Junkie just smiled somewhere.
I got Tattoolas. One of the biggest shops I deal with here. They're like the biggest Iowa dealer in the central Kentucky. But I mean, I got SVs. I got a little bit of everything. You know, doing this, I like to have a little bit of everything. So
yeah.
I can say a little bit about everything. But just something about the Shimanos around here, like the resale value stays good. There's a big culture around it. So me owning a shop in central Kentucky, you kind of have to be a Shimano guy. Now, I can pan over here and say there's 7 different, luge models. I mean, I get the luge is by far and wide. There's no doubt of, how great of a reel that is. It's loved by everybody. Luge has probably the best customer service out of everybody too. So
Wow, that's impressive that you said that. So real quick before you get into the next step here, again, Joseph asking, how much are the bearing kits?
So we're $30 for a 2-piece bearing kit, $35 for a 3-piece. So, some of your older loose stuff, the newer loose stuff, you're looking at 3-piece, Abus 3-piece. And we're not talking about Ambassador, but your Ambassador, your Daiwas, your SLXs, you're looking at $30. You're not going to spend no more than $35 on the kit though. And then you're looking at roughly $6 to ship them. So
there you go. So what's now tell us about the bearings, the Gen 2s again. Smoky Mountain Fishing is asking, are they full ceramics?
they're not full ceramic. Nobody in the industry has a full ceramic bearing. I know 13 was trying to say they had whatever they called that cheap shim they put in bearings. That was an awful design, but nobody in the industry, runs a full ceramic bearing to my knowledge. It's just not very cost efficient. Now, I'm going to attempt to play with this camera again. We'll see if we can't get off the. So this is just, see, every time. So you can kind of see that is just a plain hybrid ceramic bearing, like no different than what you would get from Boca or something like that. With I believe that's a stainless cage on that one. And then the Gen 2 that we went to has a big white insert. Oh, look at there. I'm getting to be professional with this. So you can noticeably see the white insert in there. That's a poly insert. And then it has ceramic balls, stainless steel races. So it's 80% non-stainless bearing. And the main reason why they do that is because it's smooth as a whistle. It's probably the best bearing that I've played with. I'm sure they're like ZIP and some of those guys that you can't. That's kind of a whole different ballpark, really. But
yeah,
as far as something just like your everyday fisherman would want, or your every weekend tournament fisherman would want, as far as the ceramic bearing, I don't think you would need anything greater than this. And not to mention, I don't think I've said this actually in the whole time of this podcast, we're the only ceramic bearing people in the United States that is offering a lifetime warranty on these limited.
Oh yeah, we had not mentioned the lifetime warranty on that. So tell us.
Pretty much, it's if your bearings stop working due to a manufacturer defect, I'm going to replace them. But no, we don't. We don't, replace them if you're fishing saltwater and not taking care of your reels, or that. It's really not what these were designed for. But if there is a manufacturer defect, I'll send you a set of bearings. I got no problem doing it. And you'll know because every single bearing I have, I don't know if you can see that logo. Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little.
But they have Dominator stamped on the side, so we keep track of that.
So Joseph asked, would you recommend changing them in a new reel, the bearings in a brand new reel?
Depends on the reel. Big on my honesty kick here. I'm not big on Daiwa bearings. I'll just tell you right now. Until you get into some of the higher end stuff. Now, I believe once you get into that Steve's Metanium, price range, your $300-$400 reels. Look, those bearings are just as good as anything you're going to get aftermarket. So, like, a lot of the I do a ton of Metaniums, but what I tell people is, like, man, if you really want ceramic bearings that bad, I'm going to sell them to you. But if it was me and it's a brand new reel and it's a higher end reel, I would at least fish it for 2 or 3 years, then get it cleaned, and we can put some bearings in it. I'll give you a baggie with your old bearings in it. That way, if something happens down the line, at least you got backups if it's here at the shop or whatever. But I tell people, straight off the bat, if it's a higher end reel and it's brand new, I'd wait a little bit. Now
stuff.
here's a Pro Max. I do a lot of
Nice.
Pro Maxes and Silver Maxes, and they do great. I have no complaints on those either.
All right, I'm going to shut up and let you finish this real quick.
All right, where were we? Okay, so like I said, we put our spool in our container so it don't roll off. It doesn't have a bearing in it, so it's not like to lose. But we're going to do the same thing on the cast control knob. One thing, I got bearings sticking to my arm and everything. One thing I do want to note here is you get into some of these Shimanos like the Corrados, especially the newer Corrados, you're going to notice that they'll have pinion support gears in them. That's another thing you can do if you got a magnet. You can just stick a magnet in it sometimes. Well, this reel right here has just fought me through everything. But you can stick a magnet in them if it's an older reel. It's got a little bit of grease built up in it and they'll pull right out. But, some of the older stuff, you're not going to really run into that. But in the newer stuff, you'll see some of those pinion support bearings with the shims, with the spool bearing on top of them. I tell people, try not to, especially if you're not familiar with it, get anything out of place there. Leave the white shim, I guess, if you will, or trying to think of what a proper name is here. I'm drawing a blank, but I leave that in there and just wipe it out with a Q-tip. Put your new bearing in there. Always flip your. This is really a shim, but always flip your shim on the top of your cast control knob and rotate it over so it doesn't have a dimple, and just tighten it back up. Oh, messed up there. And I forgot to put the clip back in. See, I'm all tore up. The life of an ADD kid is a struggle sometimes, hard. But it's not the only one that you can get away with watching a loose video on YouTube and knowing how to do probably 70% of these reels. The only one you're really going to struggle on is a dial reel, because you got to take the whole side off of it. And I do have a YouTube video that is currently uploading for it.
So shout out your YouTube channel, by the way.
I just Dominator reel tuning.
There you go.
Don't know how I got that lucky.
And Joseph again, he says, do you have a Facebook? Shout out your Facebook. Shout out all of your social medias.
I just make it plain and easy, guys. I struggle on the TikTok, so if you're looking for anything great besides some AC/DC hits, I'm not for you. But just Dominator reel tuning, plain and simple. I've gotten really lucky and been able to get that name just about everywhere I went. So if you're looking for any information on us, anything Dominator reel tuning, you're good to go.
What do you think about Abu Revos?
Great reel. You can't. I guess the more refined question is the Abu Revo for what application? Because for
here's
me,
a question.
Go ahead.
Does it matter what side of the bearing is facing out?
Yeah, so on our previous model, on the Gen 1 reels or bearings, they had orange seals on both sides. On this model, I tend to put, if you're going to run the orange seal, I'll put the orange seal over the balls and not over the race side. Anyways, over the balls and not on the back side, because the back side is oversized. It won't fit on there properly. So if you're going to put a shield on, I just lightly press it over the front. I can actually show you. Oh. Well, actually, we'll do this, and you can hear the difference of kind of what I'm. So a lot of guys want to kind of hulk these in there, and you really don't have to do that. They just look. I'm just barely going to push this. It snaps into place. I'm sorry about my shoddy camera work, guys, but it's pretty easy. It's not, and you'll know, especially if you have the greatest tool you can have on your workbench at the house is a chopstick. Believe it or not, and I'll tell you why. Because you can take a bearing, and you can do that. I don't know if you can hear that on your end.
Yeah.
You can hear it spinning, but you can actually put it on the end of a chopstick, give it a spin, make sure your seal's in there properly, or if you're in cleaning reels at your house and you want some way to blow them out with an air compressor to where they spin good, you can do it with a chopstick. And everything tends to work out all right. I'm trying to find a hook. Oh, right here. I'll just use a jig. So I'm going to take this seal back out. And as you've seen, it comes out easy. Comes in, comes out easy. You don't have to run these seals. I will say if you're fishing like grass and stuff like that, I like them, but I make sure they're always on the ball side. And then when I put them in the cavity or on the spool or wherever I'm putting them, I make sure the shield is always facing whichever side is going to get the most in it. So obviously, if you're putting it in the palm side, you already know the back side that doesn't have the balls is going to go in that cavity, and then obviously the shield's going to go in the front to where it's protected. If that makes any sense, it's kind of my logic behind it. And the reason being is, and I'll
keeps the dirt and dust and grime out of it.
So the reason being is the way a peak cage is designed, it's oversized. So like, well, that one's gonna make a liar out of me. You got give me one of those little bearings out of there. On these spool bearings, it doesn't hit as bad, but whenever you get into the little bearings, it'll kind of rub that and it'll slow it down a lot. So I don't really advise to it. But the bearing was designed to run without shields. We kind of changed the specs on it and did some things that were different than other people in the industry, just so we weren't the same, to where we could run a shield on the front of it. And down the road, I'd like to eventually morph this bearing to where it's a fully shielded bearing.
Yeah. So do you have bearings for BFS reels?
Yes. Well, any of my bearings will work for your BFS reels. Now, if you're playing with like, okay, I'm an Amazon nerd. I'll be straight up with you guys. So like the Serenoias and all that cool stuff that, you know, not a lot of people dabble with. You got something like that? Just send me a Facebook message, and I can get you real or bearings for that. And but you know, if you're running like a SLX BFS or a Metanium BFS or whatever the new hot BFS, I think Abu's got a cool BFS reel. It's been out for a while. Mm-hmm. I can hook you up. Basically, just our standard bearing kit.
So what do you do now? We know you don't put bearings in spinning reels, but what kind of service do you give the spinning reels?
Honestly, I really don't like doing mini spinning reels. I'll touch the Stratic and some Daiwa stuff, but if you're looking for a spinning reel guy, I always send people to Spanky at Tackle Trap because he's a badass, and that's just, you know, he can work on just about anything. But as far as for me, if you're needing a spinning reel paired and it's not a Shimano or a Daiwa, I would send it to somebody else that specializes in it. Definitely get the most bang for your buck there.
So remember that, guys. Tackle Trap.
Yep. So that's where I say it's kind of like a crazy, and I'll give anybody a shout out. That's like Spanky is the man. Like, he been doing this for such a long time, and I told him at the Classic, we were talking about this bearing kit, and he's like, you know, this is crazy. He's like, how'd you get into this? And I was like, man, I've always like looked up to guys like that, and I think Trey Harper, he's another one. There's a bunch of the real deal. There's all kinds of good people out there that can fix fishing reels. It's not just me. There's all kinds of guys out there that are doing industry changing things as far as super tuning goes. I'm just a little old redneck here in Kentucky peddling some bearings. This is what I was talking about. I'll show you guys on this. So this is made to go on the palm side. I'm gonna try to get this weed guard makes it difficult. Ned rigs, if you're trying to pull the orange seal off of one, Ned rigs, shaky head, stuff like that. So you'll see. Let me know if you can hear this, but oh, see, I might get better at that, but see, it spins pretty good without it. It's gonna spin pretty good on the front of it. Like I said, I just lightly pushed it in there. Spins good.
Yeah.
And then when I move this seal to the back, it just does not like it at all. So that's why I tell people, make sure you have it on the ball side.
So, guys, Dominator Reel Tuning on Facebook, and you can see some videos he's done on YouTube. But if you want to purchase, Facebook is where you need to go.
Yep. There's some talks of I can't release any names yet, but there's some talks of getting in some pretty big stores around East Tennessee. So if you're in that area, your products are going to be ready, available pretty quick. If you're in Central Kentucky, we're working into moving in shops. But if you're out of state, you can hit me up on Facebook. I'm hoping to eventually have that website going. That's been tough. That's been a big hurdle to climb here lately.
And that's he's going to get a website up so that he can get the sales going. Now, are we done with the SLX?
Yeah, we're done with the SLX.
See,
we can do it again if you want.
We know he did it so fast I wasn't even sure we were finished with it yet.
Yeah, it's just 2 bearings. It's really not. It's not that bad. Like the main thing that you just got to remember when doing this stuff, guys, is you can't get mad. Like I'm talking like you can't get like oil filters stuck on the side of your you just can't get it off, man.
See, that's the reason why I don't do it, because I'm smashing the reel. It's like Hulk smash. It's like Hank smash. Grab your reel.
I'll have some late nights every once in a while where I like in the winter, man, I stay slammed. Like I don't make it out of the shop most of the time. Yeah. And I'll work till like 1, 2 o'clock at night, and I'll have to tell myself, like, dude, you're getting mad at everything. Just stop, revisit, come back in the morning. It'll be okay.
Now, guys, listen, we're coming up on an hour, and we've got something pretty cool coming up. He is going to give away. I guess now, I think we talked about this. Don't let me put words in your mouth. So tell me I'm wrong and stupid. That's okay. My wife, I've been married almost 28 years. I hear I'm wrong and stupid a lot. So we're going to do a giveaway, and we're going to cater that. That's what Black Death does to me. It makes me burp. You got to bear with me. Got the gas. We're going to cater that. So what's going to happen is we're going to do the giveaway here at the end. And when we do that giveaway at the end, I'll get your information, get it to Sam, and you can pick your reel. Is that okay, Sam? They can pick the reel.
For sure.
Okay. And so you're going to win a set of the Gen 2, correct?
Yep, we're going to do a set of Gen 2 bearings, and we'll do a spool pin tool.
There you go. Awesome. You'll have the whole kit. So Gen 2 bearings and a spool pin tool. Did I say that even right?
Yes, sir.
See, that's why I have Sam do this stuff. I can barely speak. It takes all my brain power to do this right here. I'm not kidding. So yeah, here's something. Tell us some real stories. Tell us some stories, Sam.
I've got everything from tacky red out of a grease gun shoved up in a reel. I actually, and don't quote me on this, don't be like, man, I'm going to send you this reel because I found it in the bottom of the lake. But I actually I just did a loose for a guy that found one on Chick. And I refurbished it for him. There's actually pictures of it on my Facebook. I've done a core out of the bottom of Lake Cumberland. I've done a lot of stuff. The only real gripe that I have about fishing reels is whenever people use hot sauce. I can't stand it. Like, it's
So,
the most.
and I've heard you say that before. What's the deal with the hot sauce? Why do you not like it? Because I'll be honest with you. I used to use it all the time.
The first issue I have with it is people want to put it on their worm gear. I'm not a big advocate of putting grease on a worm gear. It slows the reel down.
Yeah.
And anything with a dye in it, whether it's, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think the best grease that you can use straight from a tackle shop is probably either the Daiwa grease or the Abu grease. The best oil is going to be Luz, and if you don't, or not Luz, Lucas. And if you can't find Lucas, Luz oil is very available at the shop. Or if you got a great Shimano product, they throw some oil in there, and that's some top dollar stuff too.
Most of the time, I just dip mine in the water and shake it around a little bit.
That's all my creek fishing pole.
It
Ain't
does.
nothing wrong with that. They'll work one way or the other. But
Again,
to answer your question about the red, I'm drawing a blank here. What was hot sauce?
Hot sauce. Yeah.
It dries up. Anything with dye,
Really?
it's going to dry up, and then when you clean it, it just sticks to everything. It's a mess. Like, it'll flat out destroy a toothbrush. So I'm not about it. The Quantum folks can hate me. So it is what it is. I just don't like hot sauce. Send me some grease, somebody, change my mind.
All right.
But let's see.
Greg, what is up? Thank you for the $5 donation. So, hey,
Thank you,
Sam.
Greg.
So, what I hook up a fish now, my certain reel will just turn almost
Spins
like
backwards.
it's slipping. There you go.
Anti-reverse bearing. That's a common issue on just about anything. Anti-reverse is going to be a maintenance issue. It's kind of like, it's just extremely common. It's the main bearing that is actually underneath your drag star on the side plate. Basically, what'll happen is you'll set the hook, and it's like there's nothing to stop it. Like, it just backspins. Very common issue. It's like anywhere from a $5 piece to a $20 piece to a $12 piece. It just depends what it is, but it's not very crazy at all. Anybody that, if you send it to the shop here, it's something we can do while we're in there cleaning, or if anybody else cleans your reels.
There you
It's
go.
literally a 2-minute job if you're already in it.
And again, guys, it is Dominator Reel Tuning on Facebook. You can get a hold of him there. He is, and I've raised ever loving Cain with him about getting that website up and running. But he's working on it. He is working on it. He's a busy man. He's got a lot of stuff to do. So you need to send a reel like that, Greg. Send a reel to him. Hit him up on Facebook. He'll get you his phone number. And guys, the other thing, show them one of the cases. Hold it up there real close, Sam. Of the new Gen 2 bearings. Look at this case. I mean, this is pretty awesome. Comes with a 10. It's got the bearings.
In the store.
Yeah. And go ahead and tell us what all's in it if you got one open for pro.
We'll open this one. This one doesn't have anything in it, but dang, this camera. So you see it's got a set of bearings. It's got a bearing retainer, which Tackle Junkie mentioned earlier. They go flying across the room. Got to have your wife get them.
Yep.
And a set of orange seals that you can either put on the ball side of the bearing or not. That's totally optional, up to you. Comes with great customer service, limited lifetime warranty on all manufacturer defects.
There you go. I'm telling you, the man knows what he's doing. Here you go. What's your favorite reel? Period. Don't matter the situation. If you could pick one reel, you only had one casting reel.
Oh, my cameraman's laughing at me so bad because he knows what I'm going to say. So it's new. All right. It hasn't been exactly. Can I pick two? Is that optional or three?
Okay. But you got to pick one over the other. So 1 and 2.
Okay. Short term, as far as not really knowing a lot of information, is what it's going to do in the future.
Yeah.
The Corrado MGO 150. That has been. I love this reel. Like, as far as just everything from jigs to crankbaits to 5-inch paddle tails. I love this reel, and I don't think I have my other reel out here, but we'll go with, I would say, if you can get one, a core. A Shimano core is probably my second favorite reel.
You know, he said he's a Shimano guy, guys. I mean, we're going to try not to hold that against him.
But
I'm just
I was
playing with
looking
him.
in defense. Sawyer was running around the shop here looking for that. He knew I was going to say Tattoo of 300, but I didn't have it to show you. But that reel's flat crazy. That's probably one of the best swim bait reels I've ever used.
And then Mike says that he has the same problem with the reel just spinning.
Yeah,
so,
we can fix that. And the great part about that is for like the E7 guys or some of the older Daiwa reels, that part can be a universal part. So it's always something that's typically, as long as you're good with the aftermarket part, because they don't make it anymore, I can find it.
All right, guys, you ready for a giveaway? All right, guys, we are going to wrap this up. Well, you know what? We'll get the giveaway started before we wrap up. How's that? Now, as always, you got to be here for the giveaway. You got to let me know that you're down there. I'll put my email down there. I'll get your information to my guy Sam, and then you guys can talk it out and figure out what reel you want to put bearings in. And the tool, man. That's great that he's going to send you the tool. That's awesome. So, all right. So here we go. I'm going to add this to the stream. And guys, right away, you can see right off the bat, it's hashtag Reel the Difference. Reel the Difference. So to be entered in the comments over here, enter hashtag Reel the Difference. You're going to get a tool and you're going to get the bearings for the reel of your choice. So now, while that's going on, I'm going to go ahead and let's see. We are collecting. So Reel the Difference. To win a set of bearings, Reel the Difference.
That's a good question. What is it? Light enough for my wife to use, or where'd it go?
Where'd it go? Here we go. We'll put some in a Zebco.
Hey, Zebco 33, baby, all day. But the wife question, like Tattoo SV or a DC Shimano. Don't have to be anything fancy. SLX is good stuff too.
Yeah. Now, is that answering that question? Which reel's light enough to get hit with if my wife throws it at me?
Oh, probably SLX because it's cheaper. I wouldn't say Metanium or something like that. Not Metanium.
Yeah. SLX is pretty light too.
Yeah, anything in that plastic realm, you're good.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike, for joining in tonight. Greg's like, oh, yeah, man, I need this. All right, guys, I want to take care of a little bit of business while we're collecting. We're up to 31. Again, remember, this turns into a podcast, so you'll be able to go back and hear this. We want to make sure that you're going and checking out Dominator Reel Tuning on Facebook. He does have a YouTube channel, but make sure if you want to hit him up with this, that you hit him up on Facebook. That's how you're going to get in touch with him. He is working on a website. We'll get that done. But if you want to win, lifetime guarantee, set of Dominator bearings, Gen 2, right. 80% ceramic, comes with everything and then some, and the tool to get the pins out.
Wasn't Tackle Junkie throwing in the Aldebaran or something like that?
Metanium. He gives away a Metanium every live stream. That's kind of a running joke between me, him, and Debo, so it's pretty funny.
But yeah, whoever wins, I'll take care of you. And the only thing
But-
you'll need is to try to sneak off to Harbor Freight whenever your wife ain't there and get you a precision screwdriver kit and one of them little orange pick kits, and you'll be good to go.
All right, guys, we're up to 36. We got 75 people in here, so to be entered to win, come on, let's get a few more people. 75 people in here to win a set of bearings for you. Hashtag Reel the Difference. We got 36. Enter to win. What is your typical turnaround time? I really don't like to be without my reels if I end up winning. LOL. Now we're just going to send you the bearings on this one.
Yeah. Well, if you send me reels, so honestly, December through March, I'm 2 weeks. Now, January, February, I'm probably 3 weeks. But like I just did some reels yesterday. They were literally in the shop for 6 hours and then they were gone. So most of the time, if I have it my way, you're waiting longer on the delivery than you are on me. And I send pictures and let you know what's going on and full disclosure of how your reels look. If I find something along the way that I think needs done, I'll let you know too.
Got somebody going to send you some. All right, guys, we're at 40. So I do want to kind of tell you guys something. So like I said, we do turn this into a podcast. You can get that on my website, bassgeekfishing.com. You can also get it on anywhere podcasts are available. And I do mean anywhere. Make sure you go check that out. So if you're working or traveling, you can listen to all the podcasts. On top of that, I want to make sure you guys know we do videos 5 p.m. Eastern time every Sunday and Wednesday. New videos Sunday and Wednesday. Make sure you tune in for those. And I got some really cool news. I'm kind of working on a little something with a local restaurant where we may start doing the MNFs, the Monday Night Fishing lives. We may do them with a live studio audience. So everything's not finalized, but if you're in the area or you want to travel to the area, got a restaurant in Big Stone Gap, Virginia, that is going to let us come and set up and hang out.
What kind of food we talking?
And talk fishing. Oh man, it's about anything you can imagine down there. So
I might have to make the trip.
So we'll sit in there now. Like I said, everything's not finalized. I don't want to give anything more than that away, but tell me that wouldn't be fun that we could sit, and do this. It would be awesome. Studio audience, we could ask questions. We'll of course have things up on a big screen, which they're going to have. Man, it'll be a good time. And I'm going to be partaking. You know what I'm saying? That's well, they're not a breakfast place, but man, they got some good food. Let me tell you, some of the best fried green tomatoes you're ever going to eat. My daughter calls them fancy fried green tomatoes. Traveling 7 hours every Monday to see y'all. You're more than welcome, man. Come on down. All right, guys. So we got 40 in here. We're going to go ahead and give it away. We're going to do the drawing. Here we go. Bass for Dave. What is going on? You still in here, Bass for Dave? Look there. I do see you right there. Trying to figure out which reel.
He called it. He said, trying to figure out which reel I want to upgrade.
Yeah. He doesn't know he won. He's like, I done won this. I know. I'm trying to figure out which reel I want to upgrade.
He's fixing to get addicted. He just don't know it yet.
You're about to have problems, Dave. You're about to have problems. All right, here, Dave. This is my email. It's bassgeek.biteme at gmail.com. This is what I love about you girthy geeks out there. Everybody congratulating Dave. Way to go. Love it. I'm going to spam my email a couple times here. All right, Dave.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do, what's today's date? Help me out here. May 9th, right?
Yep, May 9th.
Till the end of the weekend, if anybody wants to place an order, I'll give them 15% off from here to the
Oh, there you go.
Since it's got so much attention there, I'd love to get you guys out some product, and hopefully you can enjoy it.
There you go, 15% off. Place order. Remember, Dominator Reel Tuning on Facebook. That is the best way to get a hold of him. He does have Dominator Reel Tuning on YouTube also. There will be links in the description of this video. Should be tonight. Yeah, I have them up tonight. Yeah. So make sure you tune in. Hey, congrats, Dave. Thanks for being part of the live stream. Hey, man. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Sam, man, thanks for coming on. I've been a big fan for quite a while, and we appreciate it. You know, for you guys that don't know, how long has it been now, Sam? Like 3-4 years that I met you down in Knoxville at the East Tennessee show.
We met in Knoxville when I was pushing. What was I pushing? First time I was pushing jigs, and then
No, you was doing Dominator, I think, then. Yeah, because I've actually got a set of the Gen 1s, and I don't know if I've still
I thought
got
I met you
reel.
with the ledge head guys there at one point.
Well, that's first time. That's right, actually.
Yeah, but I like that show. That's probably my favorite show out of the year, and I appreciate you having me on. I've been a big fan for years, and I enjoy a lot of your content and everything you do.
I appreciate you being on. Like I said, I am a big fan of the Barons. I hope you do well with all that. And guys, like I said, 15% off Dominator Reel Tuning Facebook. Make sure you go order them. How long did you say you'll keep it rolling?
I will do it till Saturday.
There you go, Saturday.
Saturday
midnight. It's over.
We'll do it till Saturday. We'll try to get them out then.
There we go. Greg's like, heck yeah, messaging you now.
Yeah, let me know, Greg. I'll take care of you. I definitely think, the more people that get into it, they're definitely going to enjoy it, especially if you're trying to fix up a load of reel at the house.
Yeah. And you guys know how much I like to ledge fish, and so this is my deal right here. I want to be able to cast past the school. All right, man. I appreciate you being on. Go ahead and shout out your social medias one more time. And anything else you want to shout out, anybody you want to shout out, anybody you want to thank, the floor is yours, sir.
Man, I thank God for every day that I'm here. That's about all I got. And you can find me on social media at Dominator Reel Tuning, real basic. So anything, but we need to start working on the Instagram, but that's about the only person.
Yes, you really do need to start working on Instagram.
I'm not existent there.
We'll have that discussion later, though.
And if you like AC/DC hits, my TikTok's for you. But other than that, Dominator Reel Tuning, you can find me anywhere you want, and then the website's going to be dominatorreeltuning.com.
Listen, when I played football in high school, Who Made Who was my get ready song, man.
That's awesome.
So, all right, guys, listen, thanks for being on, man. I've had a great time. Thank all of you girthy geeks out there for taking part. I love you. I appreciate you. And, I've got one thing, man. Listen, YouTube hates me. You want to talk about analytics? Let me talk about this real quick. So I'm getting great click-through. I'm getting great watch time on the newest video. I've got a fishing video where I'm catching nice smallmouth on a finesse Texas rig, but they are not pushing it to any new viewers. So guys, go out there, like that, share that video. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. I'd appreciate it, because that's the only way they're going to pay attention is if you guys go and watch the video. So, all right, man, thanks for coming on. We appreciate you. Dominator Reel Tuning on Facebook. Go pick up some of these guys. All right. As always, you guys rock.